Good morning, beautiful lunar stars out there. Mm. Today we're stars, or oh yeah, guided by the sun. Sorry, that excites me personally. Um, where to start again? Oh, where to start again? Where is it every day? Like, settle on. Synthesizing. I don't have to re-explain the wheel each time. We've been around this bend, but only once. The star on tone 8 in the wave spell of the dragon. And today we're on tone 2. On tone 8, tone 8 always links us back to the wave spell previously, which before the dragon is the yellow star, which is the last wave spell in the spin. It's just so pregnant is what I want to say. It's like that wave is like so pregnant. I don't know where that's coming from. Wow, it's like, I mean, yeah, of course, it's in the 9 months, 260 days, plus or minus. It's like we're just so ripe to give birth. I feel that right now. And today we're yellow starring it again in the lunar position, stabilizing, challenging. Oh, there's so many ways to weave this. Like, we have given birth. Are we stable? We're the galactic tone 8. When we meet the previous wave spell, we can ask ourselves that: are we in the integrity of the last wave spell? Whatever we created, let go of, learned, became, developed, evolved, whatever the case may be, let go of, what have I said already? Is it, are we in alignment? Are we in alignment? The galactic tone is very much for me like alignment. But we're not galactic today, we're lunar, and the same question can be asked, can always be asked. Alignment, asking after our own alignment is always a good idea. The lunar tone, stabilize, stable, polarize, stabilize, challenge. Polarize, stabilize, challenge. I mean, like, polarize, stabilize, challenge. This is also interesting to check up on the difference between polarization and what is it? Duality and polarity? Duality and polarity is not the same thing. And I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up. Polarity versus duality. Give it to me, baby. While duality, I'm reading it. While duality denotes two qualities that are antagonistically opposed, in brackets, and mutually exclusive, that's duality, like black and white, I suppose. Polarity unites the two qualities in a complementary relationship. Oh my goodness, is that beautiful. Can I memorize that sentence, please? While duality denotes two qualities that are antagonistically opposed and mutually exclusive, polarity unites the two qualities in a complementary relationship. Oil and water. When you just put them together, they are in a duality. They don't mix. When we shake them up, and when they become, they polarize. They're polarity. They polar. What? they form, I can't say they polarize the polarity, their polarity unites them in a complementary relationship. And we have salad dressing. When we shake them, when we mix them up really hard, they actually bond somehow, and then they don't separate anymore. Interesting concept. Very interesting concept. Duality denotes two qualities that are mutually exclusive. Duality. We live in a world of duality. And that duality, male, female, left, right, dare I say it, good, bad, yes, it is a part of the duality. That's a filter in my view. Hard, soft, is it a filter? Liquid, gaseous, those are three. Solid, that's not interesting. Here, present, absent, that's the duality, the polar opposites. The polar opposites, but polarity unites them. Now the star, the polarize, it stabilizes. The polarity unites the dual polar opposites. And the challenge comes in, it's a challenge to when we just are challenged and not managing to unite them. And how to unite things. Hey. Elegance, beauty, art. The star. Elegance, beautify, art. The art to stabilize, the art to put the, we live in duality. And remember, we're in the wave spell of the blue hand, so all of these aspects relate to the blue hand. By the way, I'm staying within kind of like the smallest units of the Tzolk'in. There's a lot broader spectrums I could weave in, like the moons we're in. A moon is a month of, a moon is like a month. A moon, there are 13 moons in a year. Each is four weeks, 4 times 7 days. And then in it makes 364, and then in a solar year of 365 days, we have 1 day out of time. So I could weave in the moons are, each moon, there are 13 moons, so each one is a tone and a seal. It also transitions through the Tzolk'in module. It's a fractal. We're currently in the 6th moon of the year, rhythmic tone, seed, yellow seed. Am I right about that? Rhythmic moon. I think it's yellow seed. And we're also in the yellow resonant seed. No, it's not. Wait, it is. We're in the yellow seed year, as the years also cycle through. But the years don't cycle chronologically through each. They only cycle through 4, like our birth years. We are in the lizard moon. No, we're in the moon of the night, rhythmic night. Next one, yeah, that was it. Next moon in 4 days from now, starting on the 2nd, 8, 9, 10, on the 10th of January. This is just a little bit of information that I don't know if it's at all relevant, but on the 10th of January starts the new moon, number 7, which is falls on the seed, yellow seed, and we're in the year of the yellow seed tone 7, resonant. So we have a resonant seed year and a resonant seed moon, 4 weeks, which is then has 4 weeks. Each week has a color like red, white, blue, yellow, the way the seals are color structured. Each color has a meaning: beginning, refining, initiating, refining, transforming, and harvesting, basically. And I could weave all of that in here, but I don't do that in my own personal life yet. I'm not, it's a bit too much. I'm still ingesting and digesting and feeding myself of just the basic Tzolk'in module, the 260 days and the 13 waves. That is completely fulfilling for me right now. Someday when I'm more advanced, I can weave these elements in as well. What I do in my personal weaving is I weave in the magnetic sun, my birth energy a lot, but even more so my year energy. I'm currently a spectral snake, so that's often important. How is my spectral snake now, which this healing blue hand, but I don't need to do that consciously, it happens by itself. I just notice it now and then. But often in my life I'm aware of the spectral snake that I am, because it's really a very, very different life experience for me this year than it was last year. I'm very curious about next year. Anyway, we're not going there. We are in the yellow seed energy today. I polarize in order to beautify. So now that I personally, stabilizing art, so that I personally understand, I see the wares of elegance with a lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of universal fire. I see the way of a house of elegance with a lunar tone of challenge is a 2 lines in this mantra poem. I cannot say that I understand. I'm guided by the power of universal fire. Understand. We're guided today by the sun. And I polarize in order to beautify. So now that I've read that sentence, that the polarization is when the 2 opposites are united in some form harmoniously, so perfect to meet the star for the second time in the lunar position. The first time we get to know each seal is quite significant, the tone that they're on in the first round. Interestingly, the sun, which today is also the guide, it's also lunar. Remember I said all of the seals around the main seal are the same tone except the occult, the one underneath, which is on tone 12 today. Which is very interesting because that's another kind of polarity. The 12 is 2 lines and 2 dots. A line is 5 and a dot is 1. So we have 2 5s and 2 1s, adds up to 12. The way the numbers are written. And the 12 denotes complex stability, which is today the red Skywalker. Amazing. 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 Now I get it. Oh. A very good friend of mine is a spectral Skywalker on tone 11. I am magnetic sun on tone 1. You can add kins together and you get another kin. You can add any number of kins together, they add up to a kin. And so when you're in a group setting or a family or a friendship, partnership, whatever, you add them and you find out who you are together. It's very interesting. So with the magnetic sun, it is the magnetic sun plus any other seal always adds up to that other seal one tone further. So to me, that means I personally, in connection with another human being, we together, we become them in one development further, one tone further. To me personally, that makes total sense because I get to experience their being as myself. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. To me, that makes sense. When I found out that, I was like, oh my God, yeah. I used to think I lose myself in others. I lose who I am, but I don't. Anyway, so we together are the Crystal Skywalker, and the Crystal Skywalker is here today, the occult support of the Lunar Star, guided by the sun. So he wished me this morning, this Lunar Star, this is where Sun and Skywalker meet. And we meet in 3 stars, because there are 2 more stars guided by the sun, the tone 7, tone 12. But only on tone 2 is the Skywalker crystalline. So this is actually very beautiful. All right, back to business. So now we polarized in order to beautify. So what does that say? We are, the star reminds us or teaches us or shows us ourselves, how, or if I look at it as a model of a user manual for life, for it's a how things work, polarization, duality. We often speak about unifying duality, but when we unify it through polarization, this is very interesting. I think I need to really correct a concept in my mind. Wait a minute. I'm going to just give me polarization. What is the definition of polarization? Refers to the division into 2 opposing extremes seen in polar. You see, here we go. Polarization refers to the division into 2 opposing extremes seen in politics and society. Rich poor divides, politics is widening gaps in opinions. In physics, it's a property of transverse waves, bracket, like light or sound, bracket close, where oscillations align in a specific direction, like up down versus left right. This phenomenon is key to technologies like polarized sunglasses, in brackets blocking glare, and 3D movies, and also applies in biology, nerve cell charges, and astronomy, starlight behavior. It's beautiful. We have the star, which really links us to, we are all stars. I love that Aleister Crowley says every man is a star, and by man he means human. Totally inappropriate for today, where we want to include everybody. So we say every woe man, to quote Cryon, every woe man is a star, every she is a he, every being, every human is a star. And here it continues, transverse waves, light polarization, how it's achieved, passing light through polarized filter. Okay, I don't want to go as deep into this, but the point I want to make is polarization is the splitting into the polar opposites. But in this other quote, it says duality is the 2 quality antagonistically opposed, while polarity unites the 2 quality in a complementary relationship. That is totally not the same as polarization, which splits the opposites. My mind is going like, eh? I polarize in order to beautify, stabilizing art. We can take our pick here, I suppose. Polarization stabilizes. Actually, if I take even these two sort of opposing concepts of unifying into a stable, into a stability, I want to remember, I don't want to read this. Duality takes apart polarity, combines the two opposites into a balanced, into stabilization, into stable. Now, if we look into politics, it looks incredibly unstable, but it's as unstable as a seesaw. It's stable. It's not really unstable. What would unstable mean? So we are loggerheads with each other, left, right, blah, 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 and then there's the extreme center. I mean, like, you're trying to split the atom here also. You're trying to make the center, which is actually the center, by calling it the extreme center. What are we doing? I'm not here to comment on that. Whatever we're doing, we're free to do that. It's fine. It adds an interesting new element into. I mean, 10, 20 years ago, somebody should have talked about an extreme center. We'd be like, what? Now it's like quite a common thing to speak about, at least in politics. It's like extreme balance. The center should be the point of balance. But if it becomes unyielding, what's an extreme center in a seesaw? If I stop the seesaw from seesawing, what's the extreme center? The extreme center is the center. I don't know. It makes sense in politics. It doesn't necessarily somewhere else. We polarize in order. This verse doesn't say I polarize in order to stabilize, although I could say that because go away, go away, go away. Polarize, stabilize, challenge. The lunar tone you could say I polarize if you said in order to stabilize, but the verse always combines the tone and the seal. Stabilizing beauty, stabilizing art. Life is art. We can choose our own filters. So if life to me is art, today we're guided by universal fire, the sun, universal fire, life, enlighten. The lunar sun, that little verse says, I polarize in order to enlighten, stabilizing life. I seal the matrix of universal fire. Now here comes that line that I'm like, I seal the matrix. The lunar star seals the warehouse of, and the lunar sun seals the matrix of. There are 4 or 5 different concepts that fit in there. I don't understand that with the lunar tone of challenge. There's a way to understand that. Maybe I understand it, I just can't translate it into those words. It doesn't really matter at all right now. The lunar sun polarizes, or the polar tone polarizes. Does the lunar tone polarize the sun? Does the lunar tone polarize universal fire? I don't want to be too theoretical. Stabilizing, polarize universal fire, stabilize, enlighten. I don't want to say enlightenment because that means something. Stabilize, enlightening. Challenging life. Challenge life. What would it mean to challenge life? Challenge life to grow. not challenging life to exist or not to exist. I think we've established non-existence does not exist by definition. It only exists in theory. Ah, beautiful sun. So let's investigate a little bit further using our three musketeers here. The analog, blue monkey, magic, play, illusion. My best friend today. The sun's best friend. Ach, Quatsch, the star's best friend. Magic, play, illusion. Oh, I have to go on about that. The power of illusion. Oh, the power of our imagination. What is not an illusion? What is real? What is illusion? Today's truth is tomorrow's lie. Today's truth is tomorrow's illusion. Yesterday's illusion is tomorrow's truth. It just mixes itself around. How important is it whether it's real or not? If I believe it's real, I live by that. And the beliefs I live by determine a lot of my reality. The way I see the world creates the world I see. That really is an incredibly profound statement, an incredibly profound statement. We tend to live like there is a reality out there that exists independent of us because we see that when a person passes away, that reality doesn't change. But we experience our reality, not their reality. When they pass away, their reality changes absolutely. Their out there may no longer exist at all. I don't know. Or they're looking at their out there from a perspective we don't know because we don't have it, and most of us don't have a memory of what was it like. And maybe it's different each and every time we pass away. So to always drag the past ahead of us. The star. Anyway, I don't want to go there now. The star. The star is like so harmony and you collective. The star denotes also this, the blue hand ends something. It completes something. It's maybe a better word than to say it ends it. Not end in terms of finished, end, gone, but complete it. When I become, the gestation process of a child, at some point the child is complete. It's been built. And when it's complete and finished, it gets born. Punkt. It's that. Blue hand is like that. It's like it completes something. Death is a different kind of completion and ending, a different kind of transition. What ends for the child is the period in utero. That unity between mother and child, well, that's it. That's a transition. Oh, but we become many, and we become aware that there are others out there. There are others. The one has split itself into many. There are many ones. Each of us is a piece of the divine. This game we play on earth, this game existence plays with itself, it's incredibly beautiful, and it is harmonious, and it isn't always by our understanding. We have no way to look at the universe away from our own filters. No way. Impossible. No scientific experiment, no matter how scientific that experiment wants to be, can be observed from outside the human observing it. It cannot be. It cannot be done by the human. It can be done, it probably is done by anything that isn't human, but we have no access to that at all, ever. We cannot ever have access to that, because the minute we have access to it, it runs through our filter. If we are human. Back to the Three Musketeers. The antipode, the furthest away position, mirror, white mirror. Endlessness, reflect, order. Yeah? So the star, this harmony, elegance, beautify, art, endlessness, reflect, order. it's an artful, life is artful, we are artful, there's order. My cells, I always look at the yellow star symbol like cells together. It creates order. Life is order. Cosmos means order. And life reflects that order. And a human being with a free will can create within its own sphere and scope and self a level of disorder. It can create a level of disharmony. The yellow star represents harmony also, and as elegance is a form of harmony, that is elegance. We can create disharmony. Is that always the illusion? Blue monkey, disharmony. I don't want to go into the psychology now of making of how we create illusions in order to play safe, in order to we give up our own authenticity in order to keep harmony and peace going, maybe in the family or in whatever bonds we have. I'd much like to dive into molecular bonds. I said yesterday I was going to investigate. I started investigating my 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 my. Anyway, it's like that's a world of its own. Like atoms, sharing bonds, and giving up and becoming negatively charged, ionic bonds, and what was the other one? I forgot the name now. The sharing of and the giving up of and creating electric charges, positive and negative charges, and wow, it's a whole world. So I see the star like that. It's like there's harmony in the way our cells work together. I've gone on at length about that, and the disharmony we can create, dis-ease. I don't want to go there today. The monkey has a lot of influence there. And then there's the occult, the Skywalker, space explorer, wakefulness. The Skywalker is said to be the one to bring heaven to earth, right? So this is where we have fun. If the Skywalker and the monkey, they meet in the star, playing together, the child always has fun when it plays. It doesn't play anything it doesn't have fun with. It wouldn't choose to play the unhappy one. Let's play house. I'll be the miserable child. No ways. Yet as adults, that's a role we like really. I recognize it in myself as well. I have a very strong element of where I choose consciously, even consciously, unfortunately, or unfortunately, I don't know. I've come to realize I choose it unconsciously. Misery, to some degree, sadness, melancholy. There's a certain heaviness that I want to say I enjoy, but it's not a light, it's the heaviness of my own soul. I can deeply enjoy. It's really the wrong word, because enjoyment means something that this isn't, but there isn't really a word for it. Reveling in it's not even true. It's just there isn't there's something there that I realized I cannot choose to have it lifted off me yet. There are times when I think like this is so heavy, this is so unpleasant, it's so like, but I can't imagine my life without it. I don't know who I'd be without it. And it feels to me, and I may be completely wrong there, as if it's an essential component. It is the yang to my yin. I'm not sure that it's true. If it were true, it would be creating my harmony, and it is currently my harmony, even where there is a disharmony. But I've noticed in me there are moments where I'm not well emotionally, and then and if I even ask myself, could I pray? Could I ask spirit? Could I ask myself? Could I release it? Could I let it go? Could I imagine? Could I give it up? And I have to say, honestly, no. This is like a core element to me. And I repeat, I don't know that that's true. I don't know if that's monkey's illusion or truth. But if it's illusion, it's true within its own context. I heard a beautiful sentence yesterday, beautiful quote. Illusion is true within its own limited radius. An illusion is a truth within its own limited radius, but fails to prove true in a universal context. Something like this. I'm butchering this. It was late. I was almost asleep and I didn't want to write it down. I just asked myself, please remember this. I have to go back. I should write the sentence down because it was quite eloquently put. It really made sense. Like within its own limited context, any illusion is true. If I play house with my friends, you're the dad, I'm the mom, and that one is the child. Now we're playing house. We're living, you're the dad, I'm the mom, or I'm the dad and you're the mom and this is the child, whatever. There's a truth in that. You know what I mean? But it's not true in the bigger context. So when we're looking for truth, it's always really quite maybe good to also look for the context. And if we're looking for universal truth, universal as for all humanity, I keep going back there. Because if this is the evolutionary model, if we're evolving as humanity, we cannot not. So that's happening. I don't need to go back there. The occult, space, explore, wakefulness. Art, the yellow star represents art. So the artist, and I say we're all artists, but if we go with the classical artist as the archetype of the artist explores, always explores spaces, physical and otherwise. You explore the canvas, you explore an inner space that you express onto a canvas. You explore a space that you write a book. But even if you're building streets, that is still a form of art. And if we could see all of us as artists, and we'd understand that everything we create, whether it's house building buildings, or computer building, or whatever, to do it through the filter or the lens of art, in service of beauty, that is to me a major part of evolution. So the lunar star in the wave spell of the blue hand has is furthest away antipode to red earth. Evolution. We're all evolving. Everything that's bound to the earth evolves with the earth. We're evolving together. Evolution it's a global process. Global human evolution. Yes, some of us, all of us also have our own personal evolution, because my body is my earth as a fractal. It consists of all kinds of beings that are non-human. A lot of my cells are not human cells. I believe more than half. I couldn't live without them. I wouldn't exist without them. So evolution, if the star in this case is lunar, stabilize, polarize, challenge. The duality. So there's the collective and the individual. There's a challenge in that. The duality is in a way a challenge. But if we can understand or see or live or work with it as polarizing it. And now I'm coming back to that. What does it mean to polarize duality? The one quote tells me I'm combining the opposites, the mutually exclusive opposites, yin and yang. I'm combining them into a harmonious new model. What was it? Into a complementary relationship. A complementary relationship in polity, or versus polarization from the other quote. If I polarize duality, I'm splitting it further apart. But maybe together, both of these things are not. My mind is now learning something like politics or any other polarization, light polarization, whatever polarization. Well, let's stick with politics. We have the opposing points of view, but when we polarize them, we at once affirming their difference. They're not the same. Male, female, masculine, feminine, not the same. But also in the polarization, we get them to form a complementary relationship. How is that for a vision for the eagle? In this wave spell, the eagle is solar. Bingo. I said it yesterday. I go bingo. Like, oh, solar. So perfect. Solar is pulse, realize, intention. And the eagle, vision, create, mind. Now when we polarize, if I just hold that in me, this is what I'm going to take away from me. Blue hand, healing, synchronization, red earth synchronization, navigation, evolution. Let me go back here. The wizard, timelessness, enchant, receptivity, free will, influence, wisdom is the human. Accomplishment, knowing, healing. Blue hand, this is the wave spell we're in, right? Now we're polarizing into a complementary relationship. All of my cells are living in a duality. They are individual selves, but they formed throughout evolution a complementary relationship. This complementary relationship is a collective of complementary relationships, many, many cells, and this one makes Tatiana. Your cells make whoever you are. And all of us together, in my circle of friends, all these individuals make complementary relationships. I walk through this world as give me the word. Give me the word. Molecular bonds. I'm going to look it up. What for do we have this bloody thing? Chemical bonds. 4 types of bonds. I'm looking for the word. Ionic bonds, opposite between ions with opposite charges. Covalent bonds. Atoms bonded by sharing electrons. Hydrogen bonds, hydrogen attract bonds to neighboring partial negative charges. Whatever. Covalent bonds. To understand that if we can lose the resistance. But wait, oh God. I'm going to go check up resistance just now, because in physics, resistance is a really powerful thing. Maybe all we need to lose is the resistance to the resistance. And use our resistance in the way to create it creates harmony, art. It creates art. Like this. Anyway, this covalent bond means atoms sharing electrons. If I walk through this world in my life, I'm an atom that tends to walk around, first of all, harmoniously. If I meet people, I'm looking out for the covalent bond. How can we share? Maybe I'm also looking out for an ionic bond. I'm not aware of it, because that means I give up. Either I get an ion from someone or I give one to someone, and then it gets a charge. That also happens. But I kind of like this covalent bond right now because it creates a kind of a harmony. We're sharing, because I'm all about sharing resources as humans. We form covalent bonds. My cells probably form all kinds of bonds. They're not all covalent. But essentially, my body is sharing the resources within itself to keep all the cells happy. My mind is having a covalent bond with my body. I want to share the resource life. Okay, now I'm talking out of my arse. Wait, now I want to look up this. What is resistance? Resistance means opposing something. Okay, like people, oppressive government, or a physical property that shows current flow in electricity measured in ohm, where higher resistance generates heat. It's electrical resistance. It generates heat. It also refers to biological immunity, immune resistance, or psychological refusal to accept ideas, psychological resistance. The term appears in various contexts, from physical to biological, blah, 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 blah. Popular culture against noise. Yeah. So if in physical, it creates heat. It does something to the whatever. So this creation of heat can be very important in the right place. Now I should look up resistance in an electrical circuit. I want resistance. Resistance is a measure of the opposition to the flow of current in an electrical circuit. It is influenced by the material's property, length, cross-sectional area, and temperature. Electrical resistance is measured in ohm, symbolized by a Greek letter omega. I'm trying to give resistance a. I'm trying to. What am I trying to do? I can't think of it right now. Give it a better rep. Resistance very often disturbs a lot in us. Resistance can create a lot of disharmony. It is the opposite of going with the flow. But where and when does it have a positive effect? It feels to me as if it's a little bit important to know that. We waste a lot of time resisting in the wrong places. And as a human, we need to learn that. I think we need to learn that. The blue hand has the yellow human, free will, influence, wisdom, resistance. Let's not go there. But today we have this blue monkey. Now the monkey, in childhood, you have to learn the power and value and application of resistance. Where and when can you, where and when should you, where and when is it good, how does it work, how do you resist, how do you not, da 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 da. And when it comes to the yellow star, in order to harmoniously coexist the self, the individual, the individuation process has to be understood, has to be complete. And what does it mean to be complete? It's always completing. Completion is always temporary, as change is inevitable. So we don't want to get fixed and stuck. But if thing stays in its shape and form, or a system works as itself, it stays in existence as long as it's valid, as long as there's a reason for it to be there. And that reason is always attraction-based universe, love. Where am I going? How is this relevant to the star? I don't know. Somehow it seems relevant just now. Where am I going? The sun, yeah. Our identity also. Identity. Oh, let's talk about identity for a second. Like, is that a thing we need? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Now I'm polarizing. Lunar Star. My identity, your identity. What, how, where, what level, where, how do I identify? Am I a woman, or do I identify as a woman, or do I both? But I also identify, I don't, that's really interesting. But generally, identity can become a prison. Identity need not be fixed. But the question, who am I, can be asked every day. It doesn't need to be asked at all. Living free from identity can be really liberating. But there always is a sense of identity, a sense of I. What is that I identified with? For me, I can constantly ask, like, when I say I, who do I mean? There are certainly a lot of different I's inside of me. On a psychological level, absolutely. And I think it's in all of us. There can be the I that wants to eat a lot of chocolate right now, and then there's the other I that says, no, you shouldn't. And then there's the other I that questions, like, who is right and who has the right to make this decision. That's already three. You know what I mean? Okay. Where are we going? Can all these eyes play with each other? Can there be harmony in all these cells? All these, in the glyph of the yellow star, there are 4 dots. Just, if you open the star, I see the flower of life. I see it goes into infinity. All the many individual parts create an artistic. I look at fractal patterns. Are all the Mandelbrot fractals? Is that the one that ends up looking like the Buddha figure? I speak under correction now, but these fractal patterns are so beautiful. Oh, I want to recommend a documentary, Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a 4-part documentary. It can be found on YouTube. Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds. It's extremely beautiful. It's extremely beautiful, and it's so broad. It combines. Oh, now I'm inspired to watch Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds. I don't have time. I have to paint my front room. And I don't want to make this another 5-hour clip, but focusing in on our this is what I want to I want to go here. The challenge, lunar tone, lunar star, for our healing, our wholeness, knowing ourselves to be whole and healed, whole. Healed always refers, there's an unhealed that's healed. To be whole means complete. You were never sick. You were never unhealed. But there's always ease and dis-ease that goes in. That's also the lunar tone. There's polarity. There's ease and dis-ease. As Abraham Hicks say, you cannot avoid contrast. Contrast is a good thing. You meet up with contrast so that you can distinguish between wanted and unwanted. We just don't have to be so stuck on the unwanted. And this is where I want to go. Lunar tone, challenge, duality. The challenge is that our brain is still very much dominated. Is it the brain? Modern science sticks it into the brain. Let me move it away from there. But there's a part of us, the survival instinct, red snake, is still very tuned to filtering or highlighting or really spotlighting the unwanted, the negative. It's very often seen as dangerous. So one negative experience weighs a lot more than 100 positive ones, type of thing, because that part of maybe the reptilian brain is still very active in keeping us safe. So it is tuned to identifying danger. But if the instinct isn't updated and it sees danger in someone's frown, or sees danger, serious danger in an opposing point of view, or sees danger in being wrong and can't leave its own position because being wrong means I'm an idiot, I get a bad grade, I get to be shamed, I'm worthless, maybe I get hit, maybe I get hurt, maybe I get killed, God knows what, blah, 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 then you can't leave your position because being wrong itself is, maybe that puts us in the radical center. It's like we can't leave that position. We become completely inflexible because there's a danger, but that's wrong. It's out of date. It's not up to date, and that links us. The nervous system. We need to update the software of the nervous system, and there are ways to do it. It's a physical process. It's not a mental process. The nervous system cannot update itself through the mind. It needs to update through physical processes. And I could go on about that, but polyvagal theory, blah, 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 is really worth investigating. And when the nervous system gets updated, we become more fluid, more flexible, more current. It becomes easier to stay present. White wizard, occult power of the blue hand, presence, timelessness, true presence. And I want to share a dream I had last night where the duality, the polarity, two dreams were really shown to me. The half of that dream is too personal, but I'm going to touch on it. It's a bit intimate. I don't know. I'm a bit shy to share that part. The one part of it was I was in an environment where music was playing and I just started to dance. As a group of us, we just started to dance. And I felt myself completely physically responding like a shapeshifter to the music, and the whole environment shapeshifted. The mountains were suddenly lit up with a red glow as if there was a really, really red sunset. Everything was colorful, beautiful, rich, and I was very present dancing. I noticed it in the dream because I'm not that easy to just break into dance in a moment, even when I want to. Sometimes I'm like stuck in semi-freeze. And a woman came up to me, wanted my phone number, and explained that she wanted that number because she wanted to do an interview with me because she saw in me a spirit that created itself on the spot. Like the way a kaleidoscope creates the image in the motion. The new pattern forms through the motion in the moment. I love that, and I was like, yeah, or we can do there's like zero ego attached to that. It was just like, yeah, oh, nice image. I see how I'm doing that. Parallel to that dream, I dreamt another dream, and I really think I dreamt them in parallel, or my mind is now seeing them as parallel. It doesn't matter at all. I was in a different situation where something was offered to me that I actually like and want, but I couldn't really go there. And I dreamed this theme frequently, and the dream element is it's erotic. It was a sexual erotic offer given to me, and I was like, no, I can't go there. I can't do that. I can't engage in this because it would be inappropriate. I don't dare. I'm afraid to get hurt. How? What? I'd have to let somebody into my body. All these concepts now shouldn't be happening like this. And in this dream, I'm thinking, what are you doing? You're being offered something completely beautiful. You could just have a whole lot of fun. Remember, this is a dreams world. There's no moral, nothing. You could have a whole lot of fun. You could get exactly what you want. You could play physically, sexually, sensually, touch, whatever. I mean, there's a huge playing field. And you're retracting from the offer because you're afraid that in a moment you don't know how to steer, how to navigate letting go of control, which when you make love, you kind of want to let go of control, but you also want to know that you can honor your boundaries. If something doesn't sit right, if it isn't right, you have to know that you can say no or change it or pull away or go closer or move the situation. So there is a perfect balance between having control and surrendering control. And I noticed my struggle with that, which is obviously probably, I mean, yeah, and I noticed, at least in the remembrance of the dream afterwards, when I woke up, I realized that's where I'm doing exactly the opposite to being the spirit that creates itself as it goes, responding to the now. There's music playing, I dance. I, I dance, I create the colors, I create the clothes, I create life. I'm just responding to it and creating at the same time in a way that my rational mind can't understand. So I can't really relate it now, verbally. But in that other dream, I was doing exactly the opposite. I went into fear, I went away. I didn't believe I could engage and create as I go along. And there is the polarity now. I'm going to finish this off by closing the loop for myself at least. There's polar opposites, two ways of being. There's also the polarity of I'm judging against the one. I like the spirit creating itself in the moment. I don't like the other. I can now look at it as the other is the contrast. I don't have to be stuck there. I don't have to start building resistance like, I don't want to be like that. Where am I like that? Why am I like that? How can I not be like that? Resist the resistance and fight myself. Start a war within myself. Start a disharmony within myself. In the dream, I'm not going to go there, but I got to think about what I did in that dream. Oh, yeah. It turned into a playful monkey situation. I did end up somehow giving in. I did find a compromise. I found the place where the polarities formed a complementary relationship. This is giving me a lot of happiness right now. I formed a complementary relationship. So now I want to form a complementary relationship. Oh, it is 1:45. A friend of mine is showing up at 1 to help me paint. Pretty unprepared. All right, I gotta finish this. Oh, I closed the loop. I'm skywalking my way through this thing. I did now. For me, the skywalker is the eternal explorer. He explores the known. His antipode is the blue night, which most opposite him, the unknown, the unconscious, the darkness, the field of totally belongs to the Skywalker. We also explore the unknown, right? And make it known. And we have the mirror today in the antipode position, order, reflecting. Okay, fine, I don't need to analyze more. I'm playfully skywalking, artfully. I play with polarity. Okay, well, I'm talking out my arse. I'm really like, my brain is tired too now. And I'm done. That was a beautiful journey for me. Oh, I'm hungry. My stomach is saying, hello, we are here also. Harmony, art, beauty, where's food? But it's not complaining. It's just saying, oh, we start to digest the air so long. How much can we feed on air? We feed on light. I'm sending light into my stomach. Oh my God. Am I too much? Oh, exhale, Tatiana. That was a beautiful journey for me. Yesterday was a beautiful journey to me. Today is a beautiful journey to me. I'm going to go paint my room now. I got to let everything go. White World Bridger, the last time we met him was cosmic. That which endures, we can let go of everything because that which is true, real, appropriate, whether to the limited version of the limited illusionary blah blah world or the greater context or whatever is true endures. So we don't have to hold on to it. We can let go of everything and let the moment create spontaneously itself as it does. And there is, my house doesn't change, shapeshift, unless someday it does. And then it may be like death. The whole world dissolves and shapeshifts into a new reality. And that will be like, that would be the closest to the dying process, the physical death that we call death. Yeah, but in the meantime, we do a lot of little ones. We just let go, and what endures, endures, and what changes, changes, and we go dance. We explore, we skywalk, and we explore the order of things, the art of everything. The artist I am, the art of everything, the greater context of our humanity, spirituality, greater human, incarnated. The greater human is also inside. A couple billion cells is a pretty great human. It's a pretty great community. It lives in a small human space. Why are we so worried about overpopulation? Just because we haven't understood that we can't share the resources, giving a million pieces of bread to one person and a million people get no bread. It's like, what? How is that? Why are we worried about overpopulation? One person doesn't need a million pieces of bread. What for? We just need to reorganize. Make sense. Make sense. Coherence. Coherence. But it starts with us. When we become coherent with the field, creates greater coherence. It's that simple. It's incredibly elegant, simple. Yellow star, elegance, art. You are the artist in your life. Your life is art. You're the creator. You're the artist. And life gives you everything you want to create with. Period. I wish us a polarized, what was it? Complementary relationship, artful, harmonious, polarizedly complementary relationship with our disharmony day. Oh,